here he is. So this is Pinocchio, and yeah, you can move his hand. The first finished object is in here, and I'm gonna unwrap it now in front of you. This is my knitting and crochet podcast, and today I'm doing the December wrap-up, and today I will be looking at what I made in December, what are my WIP currently, what am I doing with my advent calendars, or what are the plans, and my finished advent. Got my Toft Advent Crochetalong 2025 completed, so I can show it to you, we can talk about it, and then I'm gonna talk about my plans for 2026. Let's get started. Knitting and crochet are at the top of the list, really. But let's start with what I'm wearing today. This is the chewing gum sweater by We Are Knitters. It is knitted with their petit wool in color aquamarine. I made the size L when I did it, and I'm glad I did. Actually, it is fairly cropped for my liking, but if I'm wearing something, let's see if I can show you, like what I'm wearing today, just this kind of flared skirt, then it actually sits on the waist perfectly nice. So this is nice. You can see here that the stitching is not perfect. That's because I was very beginner, so I had no idea how to do finishings, and I knitted this sweater. I started knitting in 2016 and I made this in 2017, so I had barely been knitting for a few months. This is all knitted flat in garter stitch, so super easy. It's literally panels without shaping, and the sleeves are also knitted flat, and then everything was sewn. I think I've done a fairly good job for being a beginner with the sleeve. I did do a good job with the side of the jumper, but it's okay, it's kind of covered by the arms. Little spoiler, I've got a few things that I made at the very beginning, and some that I didn't really make at the beginning. I made it a little bit later when I was a little bit more proficient. That don't always turn out how they should, or how you expect, how I expected for sure. And so I was actually thinking of gathering them all together and show them in a video, so we can have a little bit of fun looking at my ugly knits and crochets. So yeah, let me know if this is something you might want to watch, because I was actually thinking about filming at some point now in January. Now, before we move on to December finished objects, actually I haven't introduced myself, apologies. My name is Laura and this is my channel, Past and Pearls, and I live in the southeast of the UK with my partner Yanni and our little dachshund Loki. But let's talk about what I made in December. As finished objects, I don't have much, but one of them is really big, so I'm really proud of myself. The first finished object is in here, and I'm gonna unwrap it now in front of you, just in front of you. I know you will be thinking, why did she wrap it back then? Again, because I thought it looked so nice. So I don't know, it's kind of wrapped. I don't know what to do with it at the moment because it's a Christmas make. So if you followed my vlogmas, you will know what's in here. I actually started making it on Christmas Eve, so the last day that I was filming vlogmas, so you will have seen me in the evening. Unfortunately, it was quite late by the time I started it, but I did try to add a little bit of footage of me starting Donna the reindeer, the mini reindeer, or mini Donna the reindeer. Anyway, so this is a kit from Toft. It's kind of a surprise kit. Is kind of a surprise kit, and I bought it at the Knit and Stitch Festival at the Alexandra Palace in London in October 2025, so this last one. And in the cracker, when I opened it, they had a little crown inside. So if you don't know, this shape, which also looks like this, is the shape of Christmas crackers. I think it's quite traditional here in the UK. I didn't know about it at all before I moved here. And it is something that you put on the table when you have Christmas lunch, Christmas dinner, so on Christmas Day, or any Christmas celebration really. You open it, so you open it by pulling on these two sides, obviously the actual ones, these ones are not. And you pull it, and it opens, it breaks, it pops. That's the popper, a party popper. It pops, and then in there there's usually a paper crown and some little gifts, some little jokes. Usually there's a suggestion to play charades also. It is actually quite entertaining, and after I've done this, so the idea of having a Toft cracker, which is actually a present, so it can be a present for yourself. So for myself, when I opened it on Christmas Eve, I had the everything I needed to make Donna the reindeer, but then you can also put it back in and wrap it again and gift it as it is. So this is my mini Donna the reindeer. Let me actually show you. This is the pattern. So when I bought it, you could choose between the different colors you wanted to make your Donna the reindeer, and I chose this one, which is the camel. And let me adjust. I think I did something wrong with the antlers, but I don't care. I actually made them a little bit longer, which somehow makes them a little bit more floppy, but they looked better to me a little bit longer. So that's the antlers, and that's the mini Donna the reindeer. She's not perfect, but I like her. She's cute. She has a little tail on the back, and she's tiny, and she's saying hello and happy new year. I don't know, I might put a little bit of wire for the antlers to stay, but it's okay even if they curve. And that's Donna the reindeer, and it was really quick to make. I mean, I can see how you can make quite a few of them to just gift because it's so tiny. And I suppose if you have a big Christmas tree that's bigger than mine, you can actually maybe hang it on the tree. That would also be nice. So I think it's a nice stocking filler, and it can go happily in here. There. Oh, a bit floppy there, but yeah. So Donna the reindeer is my first tiny finished object, and actually I've noted down I have used 19 grams of Toft DK in camel. There was a 25 grams ball in there, so I've got 6 grams left from it, which actually is here. This is what 6 grams looks like for Toft, quite a bit. So now I can't wait to show you my next finished object. So again, if you followed me during Vlogmas, and if you haven't and you're curious, feel free to go and look for it. I will link it below. So throughout Christmas, throughout December, I opened my advents, and one of them was the Ed's Advent, which is part of the bigger collection, let's say, of Ed's Crochetalongs by Toft UK, and the designer is Kerry, and she really, I don't know, she really surpassed herself this year. Well, last year, 2025. This is my third Toft Advent. I've done the first one. I don't think I've ever shown you the 2023 one. So that was my first Toft Advent, and it was the Nutcracker. Then the 2024 one, which I absolutely loved, was Hansel and Gretel. And actually, that was my first finished object of 2025. And I actually talk about it in my very first episode, so if you want to see me talking about it when it was just freshly finished, head over there and watch my episode 1. And this is the third one. I don't know, I think this is, I don't know, it's another level, maybe because it's a different construction, it's something else, and I absolutely loved it. I don't love the movie, the Pinocchio movie. I never liked it. I always found it really scary as a child, and as an adult I find it really sad. I don't like to watch it. However, I do like the story, and I don't know if you know, but if you followed Kerry, she actually explains it beautifully in her Instagram. Let me show this to you first. So this is the Pinocchio. I made a medium nose towards longer, because I think Pinocchio should have a long nose. He's got his fabulous hair, which took me forever to make, and then this hat, which was beautiful, is proper color work. This is my very first time doing crochet color work. I've done quite a bit of color work in knitting, but never in crochet. the principle is the same, so don't pull too tight on the strands inside the hat, which I think I was quite successful in doing. This blue sparkly, so then he's got his clothes. I loved making his clothes, they're beautiful. His blue sparkly yarn is called Incantation, and it was a special yarn for the Advent, same as his skin color, let's say, because this is called Pine, and it recreates the grains, let's say, of the pine color of the wood that was used to create Pinocchio. And then he's got, so he has, let's see if I can show you. So you had to make all these pieces separate, and then you had to crochet them on these wooden beads, and he's got some here too, and same here in the legs and here. So it's actually very bendable, so you can sit him somewhere. I think I overstuffed these bits a little bit, and maybe the body a little bit, because she said it was supposed to be actually quite stuffed, so I did feel it probably a little bit too much, but it still looks okay. Yeah, then you had to embroider on the side, which took me forever. I had to redo it twice. I stabbed myself twice with a super sharp needle, but it was okay. Blood was seen, but not too bad. No doll was damaged in the making, let's say that. And he also has a companion, which is, I think it's called in English Jiminy Cricket, correct me if I'm wrong. And this is what you do. I'm happy with him, not 100% happy, but I think he looks good enough. And there, he's there, advising Pinocchio, and Pinocchio will not listen to him. That's pretty much the story. That's like about accident on top of me stabbing myself with a needle. The main problem I had was actually that I wasn't paying much attention when we were constructing this, so I actually put the eyes that were provided in the kit into the body piece, and I only realized that after I clipped them. It was really difficult because this is so small, and the hole was smaller because you didn't have to put eyes in it, whereas this one was a bit bigger, and I only realized it later, and then I had to unravel the whole piece, so I had to remake it twice, and then I had to throw away those eyes, which is a shame because they were actually really good quality, the Toft eyes, whereas the ones that I've got, I bought them on Amazon. I kept them so that I could get the correct size, which luckily I had. And then when I came back home here, I was able to finish the piece, so I finished it just a couple of days ago, because I only came back last Saturday from Italy. And today is, by the way, is Sunday 11th, Sunday 11th of January. So yeah, so he's got his shirt, he's got his head quite big, his hat, his trousers. It's like, this is the body. Is a very clever construction. Now I am quite curious to see if Kerry will continue to do non-standard construction for dolls, because I think it's fun, and this is I don't know, it's nice. I like her dolls, but this feels more like a toy, even if it's not supposed to be a toy. It's kind of nice. I don't know. So it came with a bag where you can store your Pinocchio in the bag, and then you had to kind of assemble this. Now I took it off to show it to you because these things keep getting tangled, but I'm gonna very quickly put them in so that you can see. So actually, oh, one thing that I was forgetting, we also made the donkey ears, which you're supposed, oh my, that was scary. It almost fell in my coffee. Almost fell in my coffee, can you imagine? Let me show you. I got my coffee just here, and the donkey ear almost fell in the coffee, but it didn't, luckily. Gosh. So basically in the construction you have, maybe I should move the coffee actually. Yeah, much safer there. So in the hat let me take the hat off. I have to take it off anyway. So this is his head, and you can make, I try to make the hair looking as nice as possible. He's got his ears, and then the back of the head is just a different color, and then you just need to do the hair here. Then you have to make this little loop in a incantation, so it's a different color, so that you can loop in this to move the head. And the head, by the way, this is a bit creepy, but I mean, that's what Pinocchio does. It goes all the way. You see? So that it's a proper puppet. So this is the hat, and you had to basically make these pockets here, and which are sewn at the edge, and the pockets are so that you can put your donkey ears in. So you can put like this, so you can put the donkey ears in without having to sew them on, so you can still transform your Pinocchio from a puppet to an actual child. One thing I must say, so I don't like him with the donkey ears, so I'm not gonna keep them on, but I put this one on to show you. And same goes for the tail, so it's like a belt, and you just put it up from here, so that then he's got his donkey ears and his tail. The tail, I must say, the tail is cute. Yeah, look at that. It was a lot of loop stitches. I don't like doing loop stitches, but it was okay. So one thing that I thought we would be doing, it was like having like the ears. I thought we would have, because the nose, she made us leave the hole, and we did the nose last, literally on day 24. I think she did it that way so that it wouldn't give away that it was Pinocchio. However, might I remind you that Petra, my friend, guessed it was Pinocchio before day 1. When she opened the box, even before she opened the first day, she thought, oh, it's like a chunk of wood, there's like a circus themed inside the box, might be Pinocchio. So one thing that I thought, so they left the nose last, I think exactly because not to give it away, but I somehow started thinking, I knew it was Pinocchio by that point, and I started thinking, oh, maybe the nose is separate, similarly to what we did for the ears, so that we can actually change the nose of Pinocchio, so depending on which part of his story we are representing here. So when he's got the donkey ears, he's got a very long nose, but then if you take away the donkey ears and it's at the beginning of the story or at the end when he actually decides not to tell lies anymore, and then he becomes an actual boy, then his nose becomes short again. I thought we would have that also, similarly to the pockets, so being able to, I don't know, maybe with a button or something, being able to change the nose. So since we couldn't change it, then I decided to make it not super long. I think super long would be like this, and then the short one would be like here, and I decided to do it kind of midway. So let me actually quickly put on the strings so I can show you. It actually works, it's just that I don't know absolutely not how to do that for a puppet, but I've made a little video that I put on Instagram. It's a reel, so if you want to see the video with the backdrop actually of Pinocchio, like a circus backdrop, then you can head on my Instagram. Again, I'll put it again there, pasta pearls. There he is. So this is Pinocchio, and yeah, you can move his hand, and you can and then you can somehow, if you keep the hands down, then you can move his legs, like if he's walking like this. And he's a little bit uncoordinated because he's a puppet, obviously. You just need to keep these on down, and that's my Pinocchio. So yeah. It is fun. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed making him. And this is the yarn I've got left from it. And then you also got a pin, a wooden pin. And then you also got a patch, which is a pine log and the snail. And the snail apparently is a symbol from the original story from Pinocchio. Yeah, no, it was very, very enjoyable. And then you got this, which was the tension checker, and at the same time is also the holder of the centralizers or stitch markers, which are in this shape this year because they are the 5 gold coins that are given to Pinocchio. That then he promptly gives to the cat and the fox. Which reminds me, there was also a cat and a fox. It was a Christmas tree decoration, and you could then embroider it and attach it to your tree. And I still have my tree up. I'm actually planning to take it down today, but I don't know if I will have time. But I'm still enjoying my Christmas decorations. So I don't know, I might keep it another week. So I hung them on the tree, but I'm gonna show them to you now because I embroidered them my way. So this is the fox, and I embroidered it with cream and incantation. And this is the cat, and I embroidered it with ruby and cream, and then I put an incantation string to hang it at the Christmas tree. And these are the two of them together, and I'm gonna hang them again on the tree. These are all my finished objects for December. I'm actually quite impressed because in the previous 2 years I didn't manage to finish the Advent so quickly. I think the first year I finished it like in February and last year I finished it, I think it was the end of January, so I'm actually quite pleased. I managed to kind of keep up with it. It was quite a bit of work, but maybe less than the other years because there was way less sewing to do. Because basically it was mainly the Jiminy Cricket needed sewing, but the Pinocchio barely needed any. So yeah, it was good. I don't particularly like sewing amigurumi. I'm getting better at it, but somehow I always struggle to kind of get the pieces right. Like you can see even here with like this is a little bit off center. The head, despite me holding it correctly, is a little bit tilted. The legs, one is like one is more like this, the other one is more like this, and apparently they were supposed to be sewn like this. So I mean, it's okay, it's fine. He looks still okay, a bit creepy, but still looks okay. And I have 2 work in progress I worked on in December. One of them, I showed you this bag in December before I went to Italy, and this bag contains, this is actually a beautiful bag by Amelia X Joy, and she has an Etsy shop, and this is, I think this is very signature from her somehow. I think I have 3 bags with this shape, and I love them. They hold so much yarn, and they're not super bulky, super big, so they're easy bags. and I like this fabric. And actually the other night I discovered that this is actually glow in the dark, so the white details, all of the white details, even the stars, glow in the dark, and I never realized that. So yeah, so this holds my Advent 2023 from Truly Hooked, and this was the card for it. The theme was all things bright and beautiful, so this was the inspiration. She actually included a card, which is lovely, and it was signed by her. Yeah, so it was a lovely Advent, and it was a circular fade, so it finishes in a color that connects where it starts. I changed the order a little bit. I still kept the fade, but I decided to start from a different color, basically. And what I'm doing with it is the Granny Wrap by Anna Boo's House. However, I also found another pattern which is in American term, because Anna Boo's House is in UK terms, and it's really pretty much the same thing. I think it's just the way they put colors in it that is different. The thing is that the Anna Boo's one, I really struggle, maybe because I'm not as proficient in crochet as I am in knitting, I really struggle to understand what she meant at the beginning and at the end of every row, how you are supposed to do the beginning and the end of every row. So I kind of improvise, so mine looks actually slightly different. So I found that other one, and now I understand what she meant, because the other one explains it a little bit differently, in a little bit, to me, clearer way, which is why I am gonna put both patterns here, so that you can choose the one that works best for you, and you don't have to go on a discovery journey like I did. Ending up anyway, by the time I found the other one, I was a little bit advanced with this, and I was like, oh no, it's okay, you will see now, it's okay. I don't want to unravel it, start again, since it's working. Also because I've just attached the 5th color, yeah, the 5th color, and so I think it is looking good. It's looking good anyway. And here you can still, you know, flatten it and stretch it in a similar way as you would if it was done correctly. So I started from this orange, and then I moved on from the oranges to the corals, and now I've literally just attached this brighter, no, I haven't been there, so to the corals and a bit pinkish, but if you look on this side, I've just attached literally this brighter pink here. So this is what it looks like. And the Advent I had is a sock yarn, so it's a 4-ply, so it's really thin, whereas the pattern is a little bit chunkier, and I already want to make a chunkier one. So yeah, I can't wait to see how it's gonna look. But if you're impatient and you look into Anna Boo's House projects on Ravelry, there's a lot of projects for this wrap, and lots of people used an Advent. I was inspired by Ali at Little Drops of Wonderful to use my Advent for this, because she has done one recently, I think in 2023 or 2024 maybe, with her Homespun House Advent, and it looked amazing, and it was quite a bright fade like this. So I thought, well, this is gonna look good in this particular Advent. But I've seen that 2 people who had this same Advent, so the 2023 Truly Hooked one, have done actually this wrap, and the pictures are beautiful. They actually used it with the colors in order from day 1 to day 24, so they didn't start from the orange. I think it started with lilacs, maybe pinky lilacs, so a little bit later, so I think after this color. So now in order, the next, I'm using a tulip 3.25mm hook, which is the one I have used for my Pinocchio as my very first tulip hook, and I love it. I don't want to crochet ever with anything else. I love it. So I think this is what I'm doing now. The next color is gonna be this pink that goes into the lilac, and the one after that I think is this one. And somehow I think this was either the first or the last color, so after that I have this. So one of these two, I think. Yeah, then it goes into the lilacs, and then the blues, and the greens, and then I think it goes back into the yellow to then go into the orange again. So I'm really enjoying this. So at the moment, since I finished the Pinocchio, I'm literally just doing this. I am in two minds on if I should start something or just continue certain things. But yeah, so this is my wrap. I'm very happy with it at the moment. Good progress, and I am going fairly quickly with it. Is perfect for January, to be honest, as a project. So I'm very happy to continue this, and let's see next month what type of progress I will have to show you. Then my second work in progress is from Toft again. You might know again from my vlogmas, or maybe not, that on the 13th of December I went to Warwick with Petra, with my friend Petra, and we attended a Christmas workshop from Toft. It was beautiful. I vlogged extensively about it on the vlog from the 13th and 14th of December, so if you're really curious, go there. So we started making the Lord of Misrule, which is a traditional roll from medieval times and going a little bit into Tudor times also. So someone from a lower classes actually would be elected as Lord of Misrule and would be the one planning the whole festivities that were very different from what we know now. The festivity, the 12 days of Christmas, starting on Christmas Eve all the way and to the 6th of January, were a time of festivity, of a little bit of naughtiness, a little bit of kind of let everything free, be happy, be a little bit of Misrule. That's why there was a Lord of Misrule. So every day had different things. There's some beautiful documentaries actually that I've watched on YouTube about it. If you want to know more, yeah, just check maybe Christmas in Tudor times or Christmas in medieval times, and you will find out lots of things that it's interesting. It's very different than what I actually thought. Anyway, the Lord of Misrule, this is what we were doing. There. And in here we've got everything, and I'm not gonna linger on it because I extensively talk about it. We started doing this, which is the staff, and I managed to do the yellow bit, which is somewhere in here. This is what I managed to do, and Petra too. And you need to do the head, and yes, it was absolutely lovely. This is the art, which is amazing, and then they sent us the full pattern in PDF online or the day after. I've got quite a bit of wool in here. I chose magenta as my defining color, but then we also have the yellow, cream, which you've just seen, and ruby. No, this is magenta again. Ruby is here, and ruby again. And then we had to choose a skin tone, which is this one, oatmeal, and hair color, which I chose mushroom. This is the hair color I chose. And then we had a few patches, so I managed to get Beth the Dutch Rabbit, and then lovely Martin from the Knit 365 on YouTube, and Welsh Tenor on Instagram was there helping Toft, so it was kind of part of the stuff, even if it doesn't work there. It was lovely to have him, you know, help out, and he was really available for like photography, and we had a nice chat with him, and he's got his own patch. So we got his patch, both Petra and I, and this is Martin the Tibetan Blue Bear. And then I also got Lou the Merino Ship, and I think these are the ones I've got. Yeah. Then, so this is my work in progress. my work in progress. So that's what I want to continue doing in January. Sorry, I'm going to some noise. And they gave us a so this is the stuffing is in here. So they gave us a full, like, you know, fabric wrapping with the little box. So if next year I've got gifts to give, I've got two with, you know, this is kind of an extra gift, because yes, the stuffing is part of the kit, but the fabric, they sell the fabric with the ribbon and the box, and you have to pay for it. It's not expensive, but still, you know, this is a lovely gift, which I really appreciate. Extra gift. These are all my whips for December. And yeah, before I move on to the next section, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I want to do in January, and I will talk a little bit later. But I do want to continue on my journey of reducing my stash, and I think January is a really good month to continue on that, because I've got lots of things, lots of acquisitions, as you will see, because of the advents from December. I really feel I want to continue and finish as much as possible. So I think I want to continue and do as much as possible of my wrap, because I want to start using it while it's still cold, mainly. And I really want to continue and finish my Lord of Misrule now that I'm still all excited from my Pinocchio, and I feel all proficient in Toft making. I can continue the Lord of Misrule. I know from the workshop that Kerry went through a couple of bits that were a little bit more complicated in the Lord of Misrule, so I know it's gonna be challenging, at least in certain points. So yeah, it's gonna need focus, so I really want to continue there. Before I move on to the Yarnmap update for December, I want to talk about my acquisitions. Talking about the acquisitions, well, you've seen these is the leftover from my Advent from Toft acquisition. So these are counted in the totals. So that was an acquisition. And then I've got the Lord of Misrule is an acquisition from December. Those were all pre-orders, but I count the yarn coming in as an acquisition when I get it. So those were two of my acquisitions. And then I've got my Advents. So I ended up having 3 yarn Advents in the end, 2 daily ones and 1 weekly one. This because I had originally bought 2 daily ones, one from the Yarn Unique, A Very Edwardian Christmas, and one from Cool Woolings. Unfortunately, the Cool Wooling one didn't arrive, so I was able at the very last minute to get a spare from Beehive Yarns. And since I had gone from the higher end luxury cashmere with Cool Woolings, I was able to get the Beehive Yarns and a weekly one from Crafty Corner. So let's start with the weekly one. It's a Christmas at Pooh Corner by a Crafty Bird. Sorry, not a Crafty Corner, by a Crafty Bird, which is in the other box. So unfortunately I had to give someone the box because I needed to put stuff in it, so I used it to wrap something, as I don't have the Christmas at Pooh Corner box. It was a beautiful green box, and it was a weekly advent, but it had 5 skins in it, which I am going to show you now. These are the 5 skins. They're all themed over Pooh and Winnie the Pooh and his friends, and I think they're lovely. I can see them go into a nice fade. I haven't thought about it yet, but we will be thinking about it together. This has a bit of pinkish, this is a bit more brown, this I think this is the Winnie the Pooh one, this one. Yeah, so this is that one. This was one of the extra presents from the Crafty Bird one. I had honey, and I had the, how do you call it, the wooden thing that you use for honey. And then there was this one, which I think, and then there were these lovely stitch markers, which are again themed with honey and things like that. Honey and bees. Then A Very Edwardian Christmas had a few Christmas decorations which are also on my tree, and now it's not in order, but I will definitely show you. So this, the Yarn Unique, I got the 4-ply silky yak, which is 366 meter per 100 grams, 60% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 20% silk. So this is, yeah, very soft and silky. This is what it is currently looking like in the box. Oops. And then for the beehive yarn, I put this in this box. I got this lovely box from my friend Benedetta for Christmas with a few presents in it, and I think it's so cute and so Christmassy. So I thought, oh, this is perfect for the beehive yarn advent. So that's the box, and look. So I kept the beehive yarn wrapping paper. So the theme of the beehive yarn advent was La Vie en Rose, and it was beautiful. I am so pleased with it. So it had this wrapping paper, and then it had these extra presents, which were, oh sorry, this actually was from Yarn Unique. I put it in here so not to lose it. I forgot about it. These were some beautiful stitch markers from Yarn Unique. But then here also I have the presents from Beehive Yarn. So I have needle stoppers in the shape of arrows, and then stitch markers in a rose box tin, and then inside they're all like pink light bulb ones. Let's see if I'm able to show you, like nice rose pink, and I love it. I love these little things. They make me really happy. So let's put them all together again. Then this is what it's looking like here. So for now I left it, oops. For now I left it in the individual wrappings after opening them. I'll show you one. This is day 10. I left them in the individual wrappings because, as you can see, they don't have a tag, and they are beautiful fade, so I want to keep them in the order. So this is how it's gonna look for now. However, I think all of the details of this are so beautiful. So this was the card that came with it, and such beautiful art, and this is the card on the back. And then we had the card with all the names of the colorways, and actually I didn't show you the names of the last 7 days because in my vlogmas, because I forgot this card here. So you can see them now if you're curious. But again, spoiler, my plans for 2025. If you followed me last year, you know I had put out quite a lengthy episode about advents, and I'm planning to do another one this year. So this year's one, I don't think it will be as lengthy as last year, because a whole portion of that video was actually about what is an advent, how to choose an advent. So it was a very how-to video, which actually is my best performing video ever. So I think it really resonated with you all. So yeah, that part of that video will always be relevant. So this year I'm planning to do a similar video. I will go through my newly acquired advents, and then so it will be a little bit later, in a couple of months, when the mood boards for new advents will be coming out. I will also be showing them with the information I have at the time of filming. Maybe there will be a little bit of how-to with some new things that I learned last year about advents. So maybe how to keep from stressing out about things going wrong, which can happen. So that will be in the pipeline if you're interested. And I will be showing these properly there. I'm also planning, I know I haven't done the roundup full roundup of the advents. I'm gonna do it on my Instagram soon. I know I did the first 12 days on my Instagram for both advents, and I will be doing the full 24 days soon on my Instagram, so you will be able to see at least a picture from that, and then I will be properly going through those in my proper advent video 2026. Now that we talked about the acquisitions, we can look into my Yarnmap update. So as of December, for the month of December, for the Yarnmap, as you've seen, I've got quite a few acquisitions. The amount in is quite hefty for December. It equals to, you will see it here on the screen as usual, so it's almost 2,000 grams of yarn coming in. Luckily I finished something, but they were kind of things that didn't use much yarn, because this is just Toft makes. Yarn out was almost 200 grams as you see on the screen here. So it is not difficult to guess that the yarn balance for December is quite higher. So yes, I got quite a bit of extra yarn in December. That was always expected. For once, that is not something that that is beyond what my expectations for my Yarnmap were, because I always said that I would be buying the advents. So the yarn balance is its own. Another thing that I'm planning for January or February, hopefully January, is a yarn planning, like yarn planning video that will be a little bit different from last year's one, because again I've got learnings from last year, and so I'm gonna go through my Yarnmap for the year in that video. So that's why I didn't put here the full year Yarnmap, because it's a little bit more, it's gonna take a bit longer, so I just wanted to do a proper video about it. If you're interested about stash organization and how to stash down, and Yarnmap update, how to keep a track of your yarn balance, which is what I've been doing and I will continue doing in 2026, that watch out for that video. So that will be coming out soon. And what's next? I feel like I've already been talking about it a little bit. In terms of the channel, I am actually working right now on kind of putting down ideas on, I've got lots of ideas, so I'm really trying to kind of channel them a little bit, focus on them and see what is actually going to be useful and what maybe I should park a little bit. So I'm trying to do a little bit of a plan, like loose plan of what I want to do for the year 2026. But yeah, some of the ideas I've already talked about them in these videos. So there's gonna be another advent video, there's gonna be a video about my first makes, my ugly knits or something like that, and then there's gonna be a video soon enough about my Yarnmap balance 2025, my Yarnmap 2026, my learning from 2025, something more focused on plans. Craft wise, as I mentioned in January, I want to focus on using advents. So I want to work as much as possible on my wrap. I want to finish my Lord and Misrule. Then I have all of my Tofts from last year's workshops. So I got, remember, 2 Kew Gardens workshops, so it's 2 flowers to make, and then I've got the dinosaur, Hypsilophodon, one of the 2, from the Natural History Museum Toft workshop. Was my very first one, and that's another thing that I don't know, I will see how I feel after I've done the Lord of Misrule, but I really feel now kind of on a roll, doing Toft things, doing these, I don't know, I'm really enjoying them right now. So that's I'm thinking maybe it's the right time to actually get into them. And then, as you know, I put the Beatrix Potter doll, so I also have that one. Well, I've got the Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, but those maybe I will wait a little bit later in the year to make them. So yeah, I've got a few things from Toft that I really want to work on. Plus, I have actually pre-ordered the Toft Fairy Tales book, which is coming out in February, March this year, and it's the first one of a trilogy Kerry just announced. I'm very excited about it. So that one also, I have lots of leftovers, so I hope that I will be able to make some of those characters from my leftovers. So that's another exciting thing. So I want to clear as much as possible my Toft backlog before the book arrives. So that's another thing for 2026. Also, now that I'm talking about what my, I'm making my plans for YouTube for 2026 now. So if you have anything that you want me to talk about, you want me to go back and talk about again, you have any questions, so just let me know in the comments or in my email. I would be really grateful to know what you think, and if you have any wishes, like anything that you want to see, that you want me to talk about or you want me to show you. So yeah, just let me know. As part of this Stash Down series, I decided, I think to help me also keep track of it, to keep motivating on working on stash, I've seen that Makes by Mia and Wellbeing Knits, I've seen it on Instagram, but they are also hosting it on Ravelry. They're hosting a make-along. I'll put the hashtag for the make-along here, and it's a Stash Down 2026. So as part of the make-along, whenever you finish something, the only rule really is that it has to be from stash. So even if it's a work in progress from 2025, but you finish it in 2026 and it is using stash that was acquired before 2026, then you can make an entry to the make along. So you can make an entry by publishing it on your Instagram using the hashtag for the make along, or both also, and or in Ravelry. They both have created a Ravelry group where you can post your finished objects, or even the objects you're working on before you finish them. And I think it's really fun. I like to know that other people are on the same journey as me at the moment, so I definitely taking part on that. I'm planning, especially in January, to finish things. I'm not planning to buy anything, that's for sure, for January, and then we will see month by month how it goes. Last year I was really good first half of the year and not so good second half of the year, so we will see. But yes, all things I finish that are from, that are using yarn from stash, as I am planning to do, can go into that make along. So if you want to join this make along, I will be participating, and I've had a look at the Ravelry groups. They are really nice. There's already a few things popping up. Can be helpful for inspiration also, and it's always fun to do something with something else. So I think this is the right time to start something like this. So yes, I will be posting on Instagram whenever I finish something using this hashtag, and I will try also to go on Ravelry. As you know, I don't use Ravelry as much, but I will try to keep up with it. So yeah, are you going to take part into these make along? Let me know in the comments, because I'm curious to see if anyone else is participating. Lastly, as you know, talking again about 2026, I love to go to workshops, Toft workshops and yarn shows, and I've been to a few in 2025. I'm still planning to go to a few in 2026. Petra and I are kind of planning to which ones to go. I have actually gathered a full list of most of the yarn shows in the UK for the year. I can share that list with you maybe at some point. I don't have it with me today, so, but yeah, I might share it with you. Peter and I, we need to kind of discuss what we're gonna do with it, but we know for certain we will be going to the Stitch Festival at the Design Centre in Islington in London, North London, in March. We will be going to that one. That one is similar to the Alexandra Palace one. It's very big, and it has lots of things that are not necessarily yarn, and usually Yasmin comes with us to that one. There's lots of beads, so she's gonna love it. She came with us last year, I think, and she loved it. So she said that one was her favorite by far. We'll definitely be going there, and that's in March. And then we there's a few that we usually go to. That's Unravel in February. We haven't decided yet if we're going to Unravel. We love Unravel, but we don't want to risk to buy more yarn for now, so that's a little bit question mark. But we thought maybe we can go to others that are further away that we've never been to. We know there's one, I think it's in May, but at some point later in the year there's one that is called, I think, the Big Flock in Bristol. We've never been, It's supposed to be good. Then last year we had, both of us had massive FOMO for Yarndale, so we definitely want to go to Yarndale this year. And then, you know, there's the Summer Wool Festival that we always like. Might be more. There's the Woolly Good Gathering also in Edinburgh. That's also supposed to be good, and it kind of replaces the Edinburgh Festival. I don't remember how it used to be called, but there was one that they used to do, and we wanted to go to the last one that they actually made before the pandemic, and then they stopped doing it. We decided, oh, next time we go. Then the pandemic hit, so everything was cancelled, and they never resumed it. So this Woolly Good Gathering replaces it somehow. So we would like to go to that one, but we don't know yet, because Edinburgh is a bit far. But that one is much later in the year. I think it's in October maybe, or November. There will be lots of adventures with her, and also something slightly not necessarily crafty related. I'm also planning again with Petra to go and do at least once a month kind of day trips to see different things, because there's so much here in terms of culture and exhibitions that we can go and see, and museums and experiences, etc. And we feel like in the last couple of years we haven't been taking advantage of that as much. So we are planning to do a few of those. First one we are gonna do actually at the very beginning of February. We're gonna do a river cruise, a 40-minute river cruise around the Tower of London, and that, I think it has a lecture also by the Historical Palaces curator, so we're gonna go and listen to that. As you know, I'm really passionate about history, so that's one of my big passions, and I really wanted to put it in the title of my channel, and that represents the past in Past and Pearls. So it's a mix of my passion for history and learning more about the past, learning more of especially daily life, how people used to live, how did they manage to do this and that in the Middle Ages or in Tudor times or 300 years ago. This is something that I want to start adding slowly a little bit into my channel, probably in the form of weekend vlogs. And again, let me know if this is something that's gonna interest you, or if you want to wait until I publish those type of videos, and then you will let me know then. I am really excited for what's ahead this year, and I am really grateful that you're here with me. Really, I can't express how grateful I am. Thank you very much for being here with me, for subscribing and commenting. And yes, I really wish you the best year ahead. I really hope that this year will treat you well. Let's say that's my wish for myself, so that's what I'm always wishing to other people too. Let's hope that 2026 treats you well, and I do hope that we can spend some of it together. So I really hope to see you again soon, next time in the next video. Thank you very much for watching today, and bye bye.